It's an extremely good watch. Love it. Love the anime. He is a teenager who's really smart, but he kind of has a god complex, and he just starts killing criminals. And when I tell you, I bawled my eyes out when I watched the last episode of this anime. It's so good, but it's also really dark and really sad. This decision completely affects his life, and it completely affects the life of so many people around him as well. Their mother dies, and they try to bring her back from the dead, and that went horribly wrong. It's one of those animes that when people ask me, what should I watch as my first anime? I'm like, hi everyone! Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite dark animes, my top 10. My name is Fair and I love anime. In fact, recently I made a spreadsheet with all the anime I've watched and it's over 350. So I'm a little bit of an otaku, and I am dressed up as Misa Amane from Death Note today. So I'm going to be talking about my top 10 dark animes today. It is kind of like one of my favorite themes in anime. I'm really fascinated by the dark backstories and themes. So yeah, I hope that you all enjoy my list. Number 10 for me is Elfen Lied. This was the first anime that really got me into more mature animes that I watched, and it's about this girl called Lucy, and she has like these magic invisible arms. She's like a special breed of human. So she is experimented on in a lab, and then she has an opportunity to break out of the lab. While she is escaping this lab, though, she gets a head injury, which ends up giving her a split personality. Like one of these split personalities is just like this sweet, innocent young girl that can barely even talk, and she stumbles upon some people that kind of take care of her. And the moral dilemma of this anime is, in a way, is it okay to, punish her other personality when like one of her personalities is like so good, and also of course dealing with treating her like a lab rat as opposed to a human. So number 9. So number 9 for me is called 86. It's surprisingly a really dark anime, and it's one of the newer ones on this list. And it's about this country where all the people live in the capital, and they all have white hair. And 86 is the name that these people give to other people that don't look like them. And these people are basically these people are basically sent to the outskirts of the country where there is constant war. A lot of the times, these are young children and teenagers, and they are made to control these robots to fight enemy AI. And they're just seen as disposable. A lot of the general public doesn't even know of the existence. And so the theme in this anime is a lot to do with classism. And I would argue like kind of racism as well, and like othering of other people. And it's a really good watch. I recommend it to all of you. So, number 8. Number 8 for me is Death Parade. It's a very interesting anime. So, usually you have this idea of heaven or hell. But in Death Parade, only people who die at the same time can enter this bar. And in this bar, there's this character who makes them play a game where their life is at stake. You say life is at stake, but they're already dead. But it's about reincarnation. So if you win this game, you get to be reborn. But if you lose this game, you get sent to the void and your soul never gets to be reborn again. And it just has like a really interesting psychological story, and I really enjoy it. All the characters of the dead people that come in react so differently to all the situations that they're put in, and I feel like it's a really interesting analysis of how humans would react in a situation like that. Number 7. So for me, number 7 is Psychopaths. It's a very interesting anime. The premise is far into the future. Society is dictated by the Sybil system, and this is a system that measures how dangerous or how threatening everybody is. So these people called inspectors measure your threat level, and depending on you being above a certain threshold, then an enforcer can punish you or even like kill you just because of the system measuring you. And the premise is this young lady who really believes in justice and the system, and she starts working as a new inspector, and kind of her story along the way of finding flaws in the system and the way that the system works, and all the different things behind. It presents itself as a utopian future, but it's really a dystopia. So it's a really great psychological anime, and if you like action especially, I really recommend it. So, number 6. So, for me, number 6 is The Promised Neverland. It's really well known, but it's about these young children in an orphanage that are taken care of by like a single person that they call mom or mother. And so it seems like this happy, peaceful life in this orphanage. And there's kids from childhood up until 12. But for some reason, the kids get taken away. And I can't really spoil the anime for you, but it's very, very dark. So, eventually, a bunch of the children just plan an escape. Number 5. So, for me, number 5 is Berserk. It's probably the oldest anime in this list, but it's still a really good one. Berserk is about the main character, Guts. He grows up as a mercenary, just taking jobs. He's really, really strong, and he has like huge sword. And eventually, he is met by a bunch of bandits, but really they're called the Band of the Hawk. They're called the Band of the Hawk. And he meets the person in charge of this Band of the Hawk, which is called the Griffith. And this character is very beautiful, but also kind of extremely creepy from the beginning. Kind of extremely creepy from the beginning, and he eventually falls in love with the second in command in the Band of the Hawks, which is Casca. What he doesn't really know is that Griffith, the leader, carries this egg, which is called a Beherit. It's this egg that gives him like really good luck, but the premise of Berserk is kind of like that. If Griffith is willing to do anything and sacrifice anyone for power, if Guts really considers him his first or close friend, then he should be wary. And it's an extremely good watch. Love it. Love the anime. So number 4 for me is, drum roll please, Death Note. As you can see, I am cosplaying Misa today. So Death Note is one of my favorite animes, and it's Death Note. So it's about having a notebook that is dropped by a Shinigami, which is like a god of death. And so a human that picks up this notebook can write the name of anyone, and that person will die. And so it's really touching on the themes of what would you do with the notebook, and having this mass serial murder, Light Yagami. He is a teenager who's really smart, but he kind of has a god complex, and he just starts killing criminals. And eventually the police kind of catch up to him. So then it's this psychological war between him as the criminal and this special law enforcement detective hired by law enforcement called L. And L trying to figure out who the killer really is, and they kind of go back and forth. Light Yagami is trying to find out the detective's name to be able to kill him, and at the same time try not to be discovered. So Number 3. Ooh, this is a sad one for me. Oh, it gives me all the feelings. So, number 3 for me is banana fish. And when I tell you, I bawled my eyes out when I watched the last episode of this anime. It's so good, but it's also really dark and really sad. But I still think it's worth a watch. So, Banana Fish is about these two main characters. One of them is Ash Lynx. He is a 17-year-old boy who is in a gang and he lives in New York City. I believe this is set back in the 1980s. And so there's also Eiji, which is a 19-year-old Japanese man that is into photography, I believe, and he comes to the USA and happens to meet Ash by accident and kind of just decides to follow him around and try like document his life, and eventually they just become really close friends. But poor Ash just has had all these terrible things happen to him throughout his childhood, and also they just continue to happen to him. And I just watching it, like, I just want Ash to be happy. AJ just wants Ash to be happy. Like, he just deserves a happy ending, and all this bad stuff keeps happening to him, and it deals with very like serious issues too, you know, like drug addiction and like trafficking and gangs, you know, like death, all that type of stuff. Corruption. I would say, like, don't watch it if you don't like really sad animes, because it's very sad, but it will tug at your heartstrings, and I really enjoyed it, so I really recommend. Number 2. So number 2 is kind of a hidden gem. I found that, like, I haven't actually met anyone in person that has watched this anime. So it's called Monster, and it's kind of like a horror psychological thriller. It's about this doctor who lives in Germany. He's a surgeon. He is engaged to the daughter of the director at the hospital that he works at. And on this day at his job, this young boy comes in with a critical injury and needs surgery. And so he's about to operate on this young boy, but the director of the hospital comes in, and this important politician also gets rolled in with like an injury, and they tell the doctor to forget about the surgery for the boy and just operate on the politician, because, you know, that would be good for the hospital reputation or whatever. And so the doctor chooses to disobey and go ahead and save the boy anyway. And this decision completely affects his life, and it completely affects the life of so many people around him as well. It's a very interesting plot twist that, you know, is not expected, and I feel like it deals with personal decisions and how the consequences of our actions can affect our life, and it really makes you more conscious to think about your decisions. And there's also some, you know, politics involved, and just like how fast this doctor falls, his life falls apart so fast just for one simple decision, which he thought was the right decision to do the just or righteous thing. It's a really great horror psychological thriller anime. Completely recommend. 10 out of 10. So, drum roll please. Number 1. So, number 1, the most anticipated one for me is Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. What? Yes. It's really dark in my opinion. I feel like the story is intertwined with these pieces of comedy to make it more enjoyable and more laughable. However, the story is really dark. So it is about two young boys who are brothers. It's set in like this alternate world where alchemy and magic exists. And so Edward Elric, which is the older brother, is learning alchemy with his younger brother Alphonse. Their mother dies and they try to bring her back from the dead, and that went horribly wrong. We have themes of like war, genocide, I mean, human transmutation, existentialism, and like it deals with like the idea of God, sacrifice. I would say like losing yourself, losing your soul, and all of these things are being experienced by like these adolescent boys. And I feel like they always have such a good attitude about it and they try to make it funny, but it's a really dark premise. Specifically everything to do with like the Philosopher's Stone. It's a really great anime, and it's one of those animes that when people ask me what should I watch as my first anime, I'm like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I just think it's that good that if you don't watch anime at all and you want to try it, I would say that's like my number one. I would say it's like out of all the anime, all genres, probably like my second favorite ever. My first one for now, it's a secret. But yeah, what is your favorite dark anime? You know, please leave a comment below with any recommendations for me to watch. Even though I've watched a lot of anime already, I'm always down to watch more. And let me know if you liked this video by giving it a like and subscribing. If you guys want more ASMR anime discussion content, please let me know. I have so much to talk when it comes to anime. Like, I get so excited. I could do like favorite romance animes, favorite fantasy, all stuff like that. So you guys please let me know if you like it or not, so I can continue to do content. Thank you so much for watching today. If you want to support this channel's Patreon, you will get access to exclusive content. I hope that all of you are relaxed and enjoying your day. Again, just give me anime recommendations, please. I'm like so excited. Anyway, have a nice day and stay watching anime. Bye bye. I hope you take a moment to join me on Psychetruth Patreons.com.
so you can see everything that goes into our video creation process. If you like this video,